Yo, Justin, have you tried any weird diets like vegan, carnivore, raw till 4, paleo?
So I don't believe in diets. I think they're kind of BS for the most part. But I am doing like intermittent fasting right now, and
Mm-hmm.
I have done a 3-day fast, which that was a wild experience. But that was yeah, that's what I've done in the past.
What was your wild experience in your 3-day fast?
All I could say is after the 3 days, I ate like a tangerine, and it tasted like the best tangerine in my whole life. Uh, it was amazing. I did not realize that a tangerine could taste that good.
What made you go on this 3-day fast?
I honestly don't remember. I think this was when I was still in college, and I was really into like Tim Ferriss and self-help and all this stuff. And someone or a bunch of people kept mentioning like you should do a fast, you should do a fast, and I was just like, why not? Let me just try it. And so I did. Uh Also, side note, do not do a 3-day fast and then on the third day have a speaking engagement. I was told that that was the worst speaking engagement that I've ever done in my life.
No, no. Oh, I see. But intermittent fasting, so that's also a form of fasting. Was that inspired by like a creator like Tim Ferriss in his 4 Hour Workweek book? I think he has a book called 4 Hour Body as well, something like that. 4 hour series. But intermittent fasting, like what made you get into intermittent fasting? What influenced you to do that? And what is your fasting window, as these gurus call it?
Yeah, so again, it was something that just kept popping up more and more. And so whenever something or like a strategy or whatever it means keeps popping up, I always like to just try it and see how it goes. So I've been doing it, I want to say for like a week. So it hasn't even really been that long. And my window is I'll eat between noon and 8 p.m. And that's about it. That's it. Anytime after or anytime before, I don't eat. It's been going okay so far, but I definitely am hungry at night and in the morning. So I'm trying to figure out how to balance all of that. And I also found out that like even drinking matcha breaks the fast. So I literally can only drink like water before I can eat. So we're going. Do I feel any benefits so far? Maybe. I don't feel like bloated, I guess. But that might just also be because I feel hungry a lot more. So we'll see.
What? Why? I see. I see. Because you're influenced by people. Was it like a creator, or was it like social media, or tech bros, or like people like talking about it? What specifically?
I mean, again, I just kind of hear it all over the place, whether it's like my friends talking about it on some podcasts that I listen to. It's just like over the past 2 or 3 months, for some reason, the term intermittent fasting just kept on coming up more and more and more. So I did a little bit of research into it. It was like, you need to have your window to eat. Usually it's like 8 hours or whatever. I'm like, okay, let me just try it, just jump into it, see how it goes. I have no crazy complaints right now. I'm going to try for probably like a month and see how it goes, but I'll report back on that. But why do you bring up about like diets and stuff?
Yeah. So there's a whole cult. I feel like diets are such an interesting topic because humans, they have this psychological need to like look good and feel like they belong. And it's kind of fascinating because like I really want to dive into like three specific YouTubers that I followed throughout the years. Actually, well, two of them I followed. One of them I just discovered. One of them is Freely the Banana Girl, who you might know as like the girl who eats like a woman who eats 30 bananas a day and does like raw tofu, and she like shames on other people's diets on YouTube and went pretty viral for that. But I used to like watch this girl's like videos, every single one of them, when I was in high school like 10 years ago. Other one is Nikocado Avocado, who was like a famous vegan YouTuber, and then he went the opposite side of like mukbangs, animal products. He gained like 300 pounds, and then he lost like 200 pounds as well. And then Sean Baker, who wrote the carnivore diet, and he's like super into like carnivore, eating meat and stuff. So I feel like dieting is such an interesting topic because some people like have their own opinion on it, and so many people like have this like superiority complex that they think their way of eating is correct, um even like better than like doctors' opinions on it. And I know like a lot of doctors, like I was pre-med, I looked into this, in medical school. I think they only got a couple hours like nutrition training. So doctors especially in Western medicine, they're told to like prescribe a pill to solve all your problems. And I feel like a lot of people who are into like health and wellness, they're focused on lifestyle versus the American medicine. They're criticized for like wanting like for pharmaceutical companies lobbying the medical system and helping and enabling people to like prescribe more pills so they can make more money and like brainwashing them stuff. So there's such like a dynamic between like the government, the lobbying, the pharmaceutical companies versus these like wellness people and doing good health. And I feel like so many people have different definitions of health. Like some diets work well for people, some diets don't, but they think their way is the right way and everybody else is wrong. And I don't know, as a kid I was deeply influenced by this vegan YouTuber. I actually went vegan for like a year ish, but then I got a lot of stress fractures and injuries and I probably wasn't doing it right. But I was a young impressionable kid. I was like 17 years old and following these YouTubers, and my parents were like really concerned. I'm just like, what's wrong with Grace? I was just like vegan YouTubers, man.
So what was your experience in the vegan diet? Because like for me, I love meat. Pause. Um, but like I just love eating food in general, and I feel like being a vegan, especially, it kind of cuts out virtually everything in like the modern diet, I guess. And so for me, food's a big factor. That's why I never even like tried being a vegan, especially when it was like super popular when we were in high school. And I feel like it was like popping off in popularity. But yeah, what was your experience during that time?
Yeah, so my experience my time. Okay, so like why I went vegan was I thought it was the healthiest way. I was a competitive cross country track runner. I want to like run fast, feel good. Um and I was running content creator on Tumblr. They had this like subseries on Tumblr. It's like tech Twitter, but there's like fit blur, there's run blur, there's health blur. So a lot of people on Tumblr are posting about veganism, and I think one of my friends who posted a lot of her name is Christina. She was like a really fast runner and she went vegan. Same with Sunny as well. I think she posted about like being vegetarian or vegan. So I also like have talked to these people. And I felt like I wanted to like run fast like them. And also I've seen YouTubers like Philly the Banana Girl and Duran Rider, her ex boyfriend or ex-husband, I'm not really sure. So Duran Rider, his tagline is carb the fuck up. And he talks about how he eats a lot of carbs and like cycles for like 69 miles at a time or something like that. And Freely the Banana Girl, she just like eats a lot of fruit, like 30 bananas a day or like whole watermelons for breakfast. And they look like they're thriving in life. And I'm just like, I want to thrive in life and run fast. So I was vegan. Also, like, in terms of like, other than the health side, there's the ethical side. Like, there's like documentaries like Earthlings, Forks Over Knives that really like, I mean, it is kind of sad that like take you into like these farms, like how cows are treated and how chickens are kept so close to each other, how like badly these animals are treated, and just kind of like gaslights you for eating meat. I mean, like I feel like I can get into this even more, but I just like personally felt like really bad for eating meat, and then I showed my mom, and she's just like, "Bruh, this is propaganda." It's obviously like in Asian culture, you know, like meat is like part of your culture, I guess, because like a lot of your dishes include meat. So my mom was like, "Stop doing this, Grace. This is like propaganda." They're just like selectively like choosing these clips to like brainwash you. But I don't know. I was a kid, but yeah. So I was like vegan because I just felt bad for animals, and I felt like that was the healthiest diet. Also, like I really want to run fast, and I just like young and impressionable kid. But the reason why I stopped being vegan is I kept getting injured. I got 5 stress fractures in 2 years because I honestly probably wasn't eating enough calcium, enough vitamins to have strong bones, and I definitely probably shot myself in the foot a little bit here because I was just like not healthy, like not like balanced, and I didn't know that until after these injuries. So that's what like made me stop eating vegan. But I was also hungry all the time too. Yeah.
Interesting. So like I remember when you hit me up about this, you're like, Justin, let's talk about Colts. And I was like, okay, what do Colts have to do with content? But I'd love to hear like what you want to talk about. And so when you're talking about vegans, right, Colts, how do you feel that content creators, especially nowadays, right, how viral potentially anything can kind of go? How do content creators and Colts kind of play a role with each other?
Oh man, I feel like especially I feel like the vegan cult was stronger in 2016. Um Specifically 2016, 2015, 2016. I was once a vegan creator myself, and I had a food account where I just posted vegan food. And I feel like cults have a leader. They have a way of thinking. They think they're better than the other people. You need to be part of the in group. And man, when I started posting, when I made like a yogurt smoothie or something, like I got the vegan police on me. Like they were like gaslighting me. They're like, Grace, is that milk? Is that dairy? Is that yogurt? And I'm just like, ah! Oh my god. And I remember this YouTuber, her name just slipped my mind, but she was like a vegan YouTuber, and then she was caught eating fish, and on video, and she was canceled. Oh, her name was Giovanna. Giovanna, I remember Giovanna. I'm gonna see how she's doing now. I just remember this. Ravana, Ravana. I remember just seeing she was just canceled. Oh my god, the top search is like Ravana eating fish. So the vegans were just like tearing her down for eating fish. I'm just like, damn, that's so sad. Um, yeah, Ravana eats fish. Fake vegan. I just like feel like it just like ties into this like whole righteousness and things, and I feel like the why veganism isn't as popular anymore as people start to feel the long-term effects of being vegan. Like a lot of these vegan YouTubers have came out saying that they felt low energy, they were getting injured all the time, same effects I was feeling, and so they kind of stopped. And I think the space has calmed down a lot, but it has influenced a lot about what I eat. And just like I still eat mostly vegan actually, cause I just like it. But I still eat meat sometimes because I don't want to get injured again.
I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. Yeah, I mean, kudos to you. I don't think I could ever go vegan or anything close to that. Maybe pescatarian. But I do want to show you this because this was kind of crazy. This randomly popped up on my Reddit like a couple days ago. I want to say. So I don't know if this is
Oh
true or
shit.
not. Right? Like again,
Yeah.
it's Reddit, so it could be true. It could not be true. I don't know. Um, but the title is for those who are just listening. Again, subscribe to us, check us out on YouTube, or go on Spotify so you can see what we're talking about. The headline for this is, and this is on the r/Norm MacDonald Reddit. I don't know what Reddit subreddit that is. I have never subscribed to this, but shout out to the homepage. It'd be popping up some random things sometimes. The headline is Yet Another One Who Died Doing What She Loved. And then the headline of like the quote unquote meme is a 39-year-old raw vegan influencer known for promoting a fruit only diet has reportedly died from malnutrition after living on raw fruits and vegetables for 10 years. And like you kind of see like a before and after photo, I would imagine that is. And those photos are crazy. Again, I don't know how real this is. It doesn't even say the person's name, so this could be honestly fake news. But when this popped up and you said that you want to talk about vegans, I was like, wow, this is kind of weird timing. The phone is always listening to you, right? But yeah, this is absolutely insane. What are your thoughts on this photo?
I saw this everywhere actually on my Facebook. I think it's real. Like I think veganism, in my own opinion, I'm not a dietitian, I'm not a nutrition, I'm not a doctor, but I think people are different, and different diets work for everyone. Just because something works for someone doesn't mean it doesn't work it doesn't mean it works for everybody. Just like there's people who are carnivores, so people who are like keto, there's people who are pescatarian, people who thrive on being vegan. Like for example, there are like two vegan YouTubers, Freely the Banana Girl, and Fully Raw Christina. So they've been vegan for like 20 years, and they look like they're thriving in life. But there's people like me, people who didn't go vegan any like decide not to go vegan anymore, just didn't feel great. So I guess there's no right or wrong, and yeah, and Freely's interesting though. Have you seen Freely the Banana Girl?
No, I have not paid any attention to the vegan
Oh
community or anything like that.
man, so Freely, she privated most of her videos, but I can just show what kind of video she was making. So Freely, at least it seems like I haven't watched her like 10 years, but I caught up with some of her latest videos. It seems like she went off the grid for a while and just had to live in a jungle and stuff. Let me just show some of her content. If you guys are watching on Spotify and YouTube, you're screen sharing right now. So Freely the Banana Girl, 18 years on a fruit-based diet. So she seems like she makes money through like AdSense, ebooks. She had a coaching program at one point, and I think some of her most interesting videos back then was she would like it was like she would shame on celebrity diets, famous people diets, so leveraging other people's clout for her own clout, which is pretty smart. So she like takes people's like what I eat in a day and just like criticizes them, which I used to think they're really funny when I was in high school. But she talks about so her latest videos are just about like they seem more calmed down. I mean, she's obviously clickbaity. Like her thumbnails and stuff are very clickbait. She's really good at clickbaiting people, but I feel like her
How can you
personalities
be
do
off
well.
grid but then posting on Instagram or on YouTube?
I mean, it's like for example, like 2 years ago, 2 years ago, 4 years ago. So I think a couple of years ago she went off the grid. I haven't seen her post in a while. Um, so like for like like for like 10 plus years, she just like makes stuff about like veganism. Um, Yeah, off the Jungle vlog, they have a big problem. What it's like to live in Ecuador. Um, Shane Dawson sent me this video. She did some collabs with Shane Dawson as well. So it's like a lot about stuff. And then let me see her. Yeah, it's like she privated a lot of her old videos. Popular. So it's like day in the life. She talks about like eating 20 bananas a day, eating like 20 mangoes. Um, Oh yeah, she does like a like this one, for example, leave a jade, what I eat for a day, response for freely. So she does like response videos to people. And like a lot of my friends are talking about her in high school. We just like talk about how crazy her content was. But
Do
seems like
you
she's
think
like making
these
a living on
people
YouTube. Mhm.
actually do you think that these people actually live this life, or do you think that it's just a fake persona that they put on the internet?
I high key feel like it's a fake persona because I've met like YouTubers who are really controversial in real life, and they're actually really chill. Um, Kind of speaking of like fake versus real personas, what do you think about Nikocado Avocado?
I don't know as much as you know. I remember the big headlines. I don't know, what was it, like a year ago, like 6 months to a year ago, or something like that, of how, again, I didn't know who he was, but apparently what I know was like not really that big of a creator. Started doing like mukbang videos, gained a lot of followers, but also gained a lot of weight. And then all of a sudden he pops out and says that he's like super skinny now, like randomly, and like how he's been playing like 4D chess with life essentially, or like what was it, like two steps ahead of you or something like that was like the YouTube video that dropped. It was like this whole big thing, but I haven't really paid attention to it ever since. But yeah, what did you want to talk about? Like, what do you know? Yeah, this Nico avocado stuff is crazy though.
He is insane. Like, dude, he's so entertaining too. Like his persona. I don't think he is like that in real life. He seems like because I used to follow him a lot before he became crazy. When he was a vegan YouTuber too, he would show like vegan mukbangs and vegan recipes. He seemed like a really wholesome boy with a carrot with a parrot pet. And then I don't exactly know what happened, but one day he was just like eating meat and he got shamed a lot by the vegan community. He kept doing like mukbangs of like really unhealthy food, like Takis, spicy noodles, pizza, McDonald's, like all sorts of stuff. Um, and he had an OnlyFans too. He also has merch with his face on it. He has an OnlyFans, and I've heard really crazy things on his OnlyFans that might get us demonetized if I share too much on this podcast. I'm never subscribed to his OnlyFans, but I had people who were subscribed to him tell me what they saw on there, which was nasty stuff. But smart business guy, for smart businessman. Um, and then what is fascinating is he comes out I think this year with this video called Two Steps Ahead, which is him losing 200 pounds. Oh, but when he was mukbang, I think he gained like 300 pounds or something crazy like that. He was like on a wheelchair doing a sleep mask and all that crazy stuff. And then he comes out, he's still posting consistently, right? Like he has scheduled out so many videos, so it looks to the viewers like in the last 2 years he was still like really fat, really mukbang, really obese. He comes out this year with this video Two Steps Ahead, and just like yeah, like you mentioned, like playing 40 chess, he like suddenly lost 200 pounds. And he was talking about how he ran a social experiment with people online, saying that they treated him so much worse when he looked bigger and so much nicer when he looked thinner. Um, which is kind of crazy. I mean, it's true. Pretty privilege is a real thing, and I feel like society and diet culture, it really indoctrinated the fact that if you're thinner, that means apparently you are superior according to diet culture, and therefore you have self control. You are like superior than other people. So this like diet culture made it like your body size a whole morality thing, which is crazy. And that's why people are like, that's why like stuff about diet does so well on social media, just because people inherently want to feel like they belong. They want to look good according to like diet culture, which is like $1 billion industry in America. These diet pills, everything, this fitness stuff, everything does that. um but let's take a look at Nikocato's content now.
Do you think that he's making a lot of money from this?
I think he made a lot of money. I think he has a pretty cult following, and I think he probably made a lot of money through his OnlyFans. And he has merch, and I'm sure he makes money through like merch, AdSense, brand deals, OnlyFans. I wonder. I'm not gonna share his OnlyFans. I would not recommend you look it up either. But look at his content. It's skin removal. Wow. He has just skin removal. Proof that I'm not AI. He does like dancing videos too. Him like twerking. He's like super fat. It's kind of funny.
How are
Oh,
the
but him
views
and
on his
Orlin.
channel?
So his views. Let's take a look. I remember he kept like breaking up and going back with Orlin, like his boyfriend. Where he can't break up. Like I remember they were like low key abusing each other in the video too. So I don't know if it's true or not. I definitely think he has a really inflated personality on social media. So like, see this dude, he's like doing mukbangs, heart attack grill, 2 steps ahead. Um, he's still doing mukbangs too. How I fooled the internet, heart attack grill. Still really great views. Like 2 steps ahead got 51 million views. His latest videos when he was like fat and stuff got like 17 million, 5 million. So they're all mostly crossing like 5 million views for 4.6 million subscribers. So his views definitely surpass his subscribers by a lot. He's doing very well. Like I think his persona, it just it's like it's prime rage bait. Like Nikocado, Avocado, Freely Banana Go, they're really good at rage baiting, and I applaud them for that. So look at this thumbnail, man. Like it's just look at this, look at this, look
This
at
is crazy because like this is the complete opposite side of YouTube than what I'm on.
oh.
Like I have not heard of Nico Avocado until the whole controversy stuff popped up. Like there's so many different niches within the internet world. It's crazy. But no, these thumbnails are hilarious. He's clearly found a thumbnail style that works for him and converts. Um, I'm not saying that it converts me, but it's clearly converting millions and tens of millions of people, which is insane to see.
Yeah, it's crazy. He's probably raking up so much money from AdSense, and he has merch too. Let's see. He has a page. Oh, yeah, he has a Patreon. He has a Cameo. He has like merch. Oh my god, his merch is hilarious.
How
It's
much
just
is a
water.
cameo?
Let me see. Oh,
It's
I need
just
to.
water weight is
It's just
hilarious.
$149. Is a Cameo, and he has over 1,000 reviews. He probably is making a lot of money through cameos. Actually, he seems like a. I watched some of his cameos before. He actually looks like a chill person.
That's insane. 150,000 at minimum $150,000
Yeah,
that he's
minimum.
made from just cameos.
Yeah. And it's just one. I love this photo. Oh yeah, he has this merch. Emotions red t-shirt. Like I saw him wearing this in this video.
$60 is crazy for that.
Yeah. I love this guy's face.
Okay,
Like,
have you ever heard of the movie Supersize Me?
yeah! I heard he died though.
Did he die?
Morgan something? I remember
Morgan Spurlock.
yeah, I heard he
Oh,
passed
he
away, which is
did. He
yeah.
did. He was 54.
Oh, that's sad.
How did he pass? Hopefully it wasn't dietary.
I hope so. I hope not either.
Let's see. Okay, here. Let me share my screen real quick.
Mm-hmm.
For those who don't know, Supersize Me was this movie where I think it was like what 30 days that he ate McDonald's
Hmm.
for. I want to say like every single day, 3 days a meal. So you would honestly that would have killed on YouTube if he had done that on YouTube in like today's day and age. But that's what reminded me of this. I don't know how he died. Was raised died from complicated cancer. Dang.
Oh,
R.I.P. But
yeah.
so this is Morgan. He's the guy in the movie called Supersize Me, and like I don't know if you remember it, but I remember him just like I remember just seeing the distraught like through his face after like day 15 or 16 whatever of just eating straight McDonald's for every single meal. And I think he was like doing like health tests throughout the whole time too, and I don't think it was great the end results of everything. But yeah, the Nico Avocado stuff just reminded me of all of the Supersize Me things. How Nico Avocado stays as skinny as he is right now, I don't know, but I mean, he's got to be doing something. There's no way that that's organic. No
I
shot that
love.
that's organic.
Yeah, I low-key think it's Ozempic, which is a
Yeah.
drug given towards diabetic, but became mainstream after celebrities use it to like lose weight, supposed to suppress your appetite and stuff. But speaking of Super Size Me, did you were you also like forced to watch it when you were like in middle school, in class or something?
Yeah, I think it was middle school. Either middle was it middle school? I think it was middle school when I
Mm.
forgot what
Mm.
class I had to watch it in. But it was honestly one of the more interesting watches. A little
Yeah.
traumatizing, but definitely a little more interesting than some of the other stuff that we had to watch in school.
Oh yeah, I remember I really enjoyed that movie, Super Size Me, and I remember like I was like a bit of a rebellious kid. Like my parents always made me eat like super healthy, and one time we had to like make a recipe in class after the Super Size Me, and I think I went to Safeway and we got like two donuts, a bunch of just like unhealthy pastries and like candy, and just like made a meal, and I got like a C or F in that assignment. um, I don't know, just a random thing that I remembered. It was in sixth grade. I watched it, Mr. Dunlap's class. Yeah, Mr. Dunlap, shout out. Uh,
Yeah, I forgot because it says that it came out in when did it come out? Supersize Me, Supersize Me. Career came out 2004, so I was 8 years old.
mm,
What is eight? Was that first grade? I think
yeah. Mm.
first grade, second grade, something like that. But I think the crazy thing is, so okay, so this will kind of go into what I want to talk about. I think to point to your point and to answer my own question, I think a lot of these people figure out that a niche starts doing well. And the thing around these sort of cult like brands is they're typically very niche. And because they're very niche, it converts very well. Whether you're selling a product, whether you're selling OnlyFans in the case of Nico Avocado, like whatever it may be, right? Because there's not that many people in that space, it typically does well because there's not that many products for you to compete with. And for example, like this film, Supersize Me, it was produced for $65,000 and it made $22 million in return, which is insane for a indie film, right? So obviously he made a lot of money off of that, which is great. Um, but I think the reason that a lot of these creators continue to go down these paths, or at least portray the persona online, like right, like to that question of is it actually real or is it not? I don't know, but I think a lot of it has to do with money. And again, YouTube, yes, it's supposed to be quote unquote authentic, but at the end of the day, it's social media and it basically you're producing a show the same way that an actor and actress would be on any TV show online, right? Or on a TV. So I think a lot of it has to do with money. And who I want to talk about when it comes to cults is this woman, lady, girl called Mai Pham. I think it's Mai Pham. Either Mai Pham or May Pham. Shout out to her being Vietnamese, but her story's a little crazy. Do you know who she is? So she was like kicked out of her house when she was like 15, but she's been doing or like making YouTube videos, I think when she was like 11 or 12. So she's been in the game for a minute. I think she's around our age. Let me see. How old is she? She is Mai Pham. Let's see. Mai Pham H. So she's 22. Okay, so she's younger than us. 22. So she would have been kicked out like 7 years ago, but she's been creating content for like almost a decade, right? So she started and launched this brand uh, called Alchemy or Alchemy, right? Off of the wording of alchemy. $140 for a black sweatshirt. Crazy. Crazy, right? With some wording on the back. But as you can see, it's sold out along with her sweatpants and everything else on this website. And so I was doing a little bit of research into it. Her marketing is absolutely insane. And what I mean by insane is there are some drops that she does on a private Instagram account. That's how much clout and cult that she's built, that she has built a private Instagram account that you have to be approved to get access to so that you can buy something, essentially. And a little some behind the scenes content. But if you think about it, right, from like world building, which we've talked about a little bit in the last episode, as well as this cult like following, that makes so much sense because the harder that you kind of make this journey to get to your stuff, the more people are going to want to keep buying it. Like I think it's Hermes, the bag, where like you have to buy a scarf to then be able to have the right to buy like the actual bag. Or maybe it's Birkin. It's one of those, which is kind of crazy, right? Like you have to spend, I don't know, it's probably like $500 on a scarf to then buy a $5,000 bag, if not $25,000 bag. But it makes sense, right? And so this thing, I think earlier this year, she launched a sweatshirt sale where she sold 6,000 of these things. So 6,000 at $140. I think I did the math earlier. It's like over $800,000, which is insane, right? So, yeah, I think a lot of people, honestly, I think a lot of people, they're doing it for the money. Is it real or fake? I think they're definitely playing it up. And I think for some people, it might be fake. I don't know. What do you think?
And I also think it might be fake because I think Nigga Called Avocado, like his cameos are not like how he is in YouTube. And I don't think he's like that in real life, but he knows he's really smart. It gets the views. But I'm also curious, what is Mai's content about and what kind of brand has she built up to lead to this point?
So it was a lot of just, I think, like personal brand stuff. So let's see. It's just like lifestyle, vloggy type of content, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Let me show you her. All right. So I think a lot of it is lifestyle. Yeah. So like getting my life together, traveling to Vietnam, Love Island Villa tour. Like all of these things are just like very lifestyle-y oriented stuff. Let's see the most popular. I mean, she was getting crazy views. Oh my God. But yeah, so it's all very lifestyle stuff. And she was able to turn just a super cult like following where if you look at like the Alchemy Instagram, now they've got 170K. So again, everything is probably just selling out. And is it the most crazy design thing? Not really, to be honest. It's
Mm-hmm.
probably like a nice sweatshirt, but it's nothing crazy, in my opinion. But again, she
Mm-hmm.
uses words like family, right? By leveraging her last name Pham, but just adding the family portion to it. Oh, I think this is the spam account. See, this is the private account where you have to be
Mm.
following her main account to get accepted. So again, just
Mm.
amazing marketing all around, right?
Yeah, I think exclusivity.
Yep. And then yeah, a lot of her stuff is like being a founder, some behind the scenes stuff. Crazy. Absolutely crazy. Killing it too.
Yeah. I wonder if she actually manually checks everyone to be accepted if they're following the main account.
She probably has a bot or like a VA that does it. I doubt it's her. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, no, this stuff is crazy.
I like the messaging though. The fear of looking stupid is holding you back. But it's not like crazy
Yeah.
design, but I like it. It's cute.
Again, it's less. I feel like, oh, shout out to Justin.
Yeah,
We love always
Justin.
finding people. Shout out to Justin. Uh, I think like for me, it's always about, or what I've seen with more of cults is it's less about the product and more about a movement or a mentality or something like that, right? Because it seems, again, this is me just kind of thinking about it from a product standpoint. A lot of creators want to create products, right? Which I think is right. You got to diversify. Um, but what I think a lot of people get wrong is they're focused more on marketing the product rather than building something that can last longer than that,
Mm.
right? Because again, if you create a product and your whole thing is around transformation, once that person makes that transformation, what do they do? Why do they keep staying, right? And like the question even for design buddies, right? I feel like if you look at design buddies with a grain of salt, you could argue, well, once someone gets a job in design, why does anyone care about coming back to design buddies? But I think the sort of movement of what I've looked at it within there is it's a community, right? It's designers meeting designers. But I think it's also about skill development, less about getting a job, more about skill development. And so the skill set of becoming a designer, that's always going to upgrade, right? Whether it's utilizing how to use Adobe, Figma, whatever it may be. And then now with AI and whatever tools are popping out with AI, there's always a learning curve there. So that audience is always staying and growing with you. Versus if you had just focused on just getting a job, once that person, guy or girl, whoever gets a job, they're out of your ecosystem. They don't care to come back to design buddies. And I think you and your team have done a really good job of creating that culture to come back for more than just job stuff. I know we've talked about it, like a lot of the content is around jobs, like in terms of top of funnel. I think that's great, but you also have to build long tail stuff too. And I think you guys have done a good job there. And as you can see with May as well, or Mai, I forget how you say her name. I think she's done. It's less about selling a nice sweatshirt or anything like that, and it's more about a movement, right? This movement of your fear of looking stupid is holding you back, right? So it's like you want to be a part of this. You want to not look, or you want to look stupid to win just the same way that Mai has. So that's my perspective on like marketing and like cult building and things like that. It can't be around a product or something. It has to be around something that low key people cannot obtain because there's always something more to keep
Mm.
you within that ecosystem if we're looking at it
Mm.
cynically.
Yeah, it makes sense. Thank you. Yeah, design buddies, we're trying to build a call as well. Following designers. That's why we have like content for senior designers now, and I'm trying to do more lifestyle stuff because I realized that like I don't want to stay to a niche, and I hope people like Grace for Grace. But I feel like for new content creators though, it's easier to grow if you like hyper niche down to one thing and then expand on because you gotta get people to care. And once they kind of build that parasocial relationship with you, like how they build it with like a cult leader, which is you, because some content creators are cult leaders, I would say. um they want to know more about you and they would watch your content that's like not about your main content. For example, I used to do like running content and design content, and now they care about me and my journey and getting into modeling and stuff, which is like really different than my other content. I'm curious, Justin, in terms of cults, do you find yourself to be subscribed or like following any cults yourself?
I don't know if I'm like into the cult stuff. I think that's why I'm fascinated by it because a lot of people are. And I've always been interested in it. Like, I'm not the person that buys into super luxury stuff. I am very strategic or tactical about even things that I buy or wear or whatever. Maybe it's all about value for me. And when it comes to cults, I feel like there's more value on the intangible than there is on the tangible. So that's a completely different world for me, which is why, again, I'm super interested in it. I think like people like Tonester Paints, right? He's starting to build a cult around paint, right? Because why else would you pay, I don't know, almost 10x the price of a gallon of paint for a piece of paint? I think other ones that I'm interested in are like My First Million. That's probably the closest thing in terms of like creator or persona that I am very bought into. I think when I was in college, it was Yes Theory, if you know what Yes Theory is. And so those are what I've bought into the past. but I don't say I'm a huge cult like follower right now. I don't think. I don't know. How about you? Are you interested in anything? I mean, you were vegan stuff before you said, but anything anything now?
Hmm. I feel like I'm in this transition period in my life. I feel like I'm always in some kind of transition period. Because I realized that life is not all black and white and it always depends. I feel like this was like a cult I fell into. It's the I don't dream of labor cult, where a lot of people were quiet quitting. Um, if you remember, like in 2021, 2022, it was when people were quiet quitting and then mass layoffs happened and people stopped quiet quitting. It's like, I don't dream of labor, anti capitalism stuff. I'm gonna own boss, live a chill, demure life. I can't lie, I was like a low key influenced by that too. Yeah, let me think. I definitely feel like in terms of cult, what do you think about like the Tim Ferriss cult or the Gary Vee cult or the Alex Hermosi cults or the
I mean, so
or
I
the
guess
Elon
I
Musk
mean,
cult? Yeah.
I guess I was a part of the Gary V cult.
Mm.
Like growing up in college and stuff. Like I was religiously watching Daily V for I don't know, 2 or 3 years. Like I knew when he was dropping a video, I'm watching that vlog all the way to the end. I thought I was learning so much, right? But I think it was more about like escapism or like dreaming to become that one day. And I think I fell out of that cult probably once I actually started executing and like growing something. It was like, oh, I actually don't need this anymore. Like this, the stuff that he says is actually very like basic and motivational, which I
Mm-hmm.
think has its purpose. But like once you're past step 1 or 2, then it doesn't really involve you anymore or like help you out that much. Um, Tim Ferriss, I guess that's another one that I like really bought into, like this whole 4 hour work week thing, especially when I was growing declassified. It was all about how do I optimize things. And that's how I've always viewed life too. How do I get the most out of whatever I'm doing? Whether it's working, whether it's playing soccer, whether it's relaxing or whatever. I try to optimize that as much as possible. So maybe that's the like cult ish that I've fallen into. But even with Tim Ferriss, like I didn't really listen to his podcast or anything like that. Um, so it like I've never fully bought in to anything, I would say, until I guess the Gary Vee stuff or before or after the Gary Vee stuff.
What kind of messaging did you resonate made you keep like going back to Gary Vee? And for people who don't really know what kind of content he makes, how would you describe his content?
So I think he got really famous because he would swear a lot in his YouTube videos, right? Like he was one of the first business personas that was actively just throwing around like the F bomb and stuff like that. Like that was his New York persona. And I think he's really influenced a lot of people to be able to do that, whether for
Mm.
better or for worse, right? That was the persona that allowed him to like break onto the scene. And I think the message for me, I guess that resonated was like, here's this guy, non-traditional background, right? That I can kind of relate a little bit to Northeast vibe as well. And I could kind of see myself following that path into success, marketing, building my own thing, yada, yada, yada. And for me, like my parents weren't entrepreneurs. And so I didn't really have or know where to even start when it came to finding a way to make money on my own. And Gary was just the loudest at the time, to be completely honest. And he was flooding my feed. So I was like, okay, let me just check into it, see what's going on. And I think that motivational side just got to me. I was like, okay, Justin, you just need to just work a little bit harder. And I think that's part of it. But again, to that point of creating a movement, creating a goal that you can't necessarily obtain, right? I think that's what the whole motivational space is, because you can't really work harder. Like there's no end to working harder. There's always more like harder that you can work theoretically, right? Because like once you get Gary V level, then you get David Goggins, and if you can ever obtain David Goggins level, then there's probably someone else on top, right? Like Brian Johnson health wise, right? So there's always someone working harder at a different facet of your life than you are. And so like again, to that motivational side of things, I think there's just that's a piece of it, at least for me. I don't know.
Yeah.
Did you ever dive into like the Gary V, Tim Ferriss stuff of the world?
Yes, I read 4 Hour Work Week, and my takeaway was that I should outsource the Philippines. and things. I mean, we do outsource to China. And yeah, and India too. Yeah, we're probably paying them more than they are in their home country, but yes, I do. I did. I almost like got some V friends for Gary V's NFT, and Gary V always talks about how you should post on everything and just be upfront and just like mindset, keep posting everywhere. And I also try to post everywhere too, and I feel like I also like a lie like can resonate for some extent to his content too. But I think like from I remember, I haven't watched his content in a while, but he's very hustle culture-y, like very like grind set mindset kind of. Oh my god, I just rhymed. That's like a rap line. Grind set mindset. Very grind set mindset. Marketer bro, and then crypto bro, and he had like his V Friends convention, which is his cult conference, and I heard it was very culty. At V Friends, but I only read Tim Ferriss's book and I liked it. I kind of want to read it again. It was like 4 years ago that I read it and kind of like gave me new perspective about delegating. It made me start quiet quitting at work actually, so I can focus more on design buddies and investing my skills. So that's how they inspired me. Um, the call I would say I kind of follow is Blogilates and Cassie Ho. I've been doing her workouts for like over 10 years actually. I found her when I was like 13, 14, 15 on YouTube, and I started doing her workouts and I actually got really fast at running. So I started doing like strength training for the first time in my life. Um, she pivoted over to like fashion stuff, and I want to buy some of her clothes, but when I saw her pop up at Target, they're all XXL sizes, and I'm just like I can't. And I never like to like buy clothes online, so I like to try them before, but I was gonna shell out a lot of money to like get her nice clothes because it seems like I really liked her content because she's very authentic in the way she comes across on social media. She talks about her journey, her struggles, about how she instills her designs, and her process of like, designing an outfit. And I really like that as a designer myself, and as like a for someone who likes fitness a lot. So, and then also her origins as like an Asian American with strict parents, wanting to become a doctor, engineer, lawyer, and she kind of just like full of like didn't listen to her parents and just followed her goals, her dreams and passions and stuff. So I really admire that about her. She also grew up in the Bay Area, kind of like near where I grew up. So I think she's little Vietnamese too. She's Vietnamese American.
Yep.
But I also yeah right resonate with her journey. So that's why I like her a lot. Hope to meet her one day.
I think we could.
Mhm.
I've
Yeah.
got like secondary connections to her. So I got to meet her like super briefly at South by a couple years ago, which was pretty cool. Like I didn't know much about her at the time. Because like again, that's not really my world of like yoga, fitness, and stuff like that. But once I heard her name, like did some research on her, I was like, oh snap! Like you're actually like a huge influence, not just in like the Vietnamese community, but like also the sort of movement community and yoga and everything like that. So yeah, I think cults are becoming cool again. Now they're not being called cults, but everybody wants to build one, and I'm fascinated by it. And I'm doing a lot of research right now to try to understand it a little bit more. Whether it's to build out for how creators make money, whether it's for declassified, I don't know, but it is fascinating to see how these personas are building just crazy cultures via the internet and not necessarily online or in person. So we'll see.
What kind of cult would you create?
That's what I'm doing research on. I don't know right now. That's the thing. Like, even I think with this podcast, I think we could create something really unique because we take business serious, but I don't think we take ourselves seriously.
Oh,
And I think there's a specific persona out there that matches that doesn't
mm.
necessarily get hit from the Gary V content of the world, from the My First Million content of the world, etc. And I don't know what to put that into, right? But I think we will slowly start to figure that out. But I think that's the best way to describe us is we take business seriously, but we don't take ourselves seriously. And we find a
Yeah,
way to make it work.
I agree, and find a way to like make it more human and less like tech bro. Yeah, I feel like Tim Ferriss, Gary Vee, especially Gary Vee, like and Brian Johnson, they gave us like a bro culture, and a
Yeah.
lot of my tech bro friends really like them a lot. They like listen to his stuff like every day and like worship Brian Johnson and eat Blueprint. and really into longevity and stuff, and feel like they're superior than everyone else because they do so. So I feel like cults, like, it make people have a superiority complex since they have identity. It's like part of their identity, and they think being part of the cult makes them better than everyone. Just like religion, sometimes. Not to be controversial or anything, but I grew up in a Christian church, and the way that I'm not saying this is like all Christians, and I'm not saying Christianity is a cult. I think they're very different. But based on my experience, like the teachings in Sunday school was like you are better than everyone. Like my takeaway was they're saying that because you're Christian, you're like better than everyone else. Everyone else is going to hell, but because you believe in Jesus, you're baptized or whatever, you're going to heaven. And I think cults do something similar. It's like if you do Blueprint, if you extend your life, you live a healthy lifestyle. If you're a vegan, then you're like automatically better than everyone else. You have more self control. You have more ethicalness. You are healthiness. You'll live longer. So I feel like cults, they bond people together because, well, not all cults, but a lot of cults, because they believe that being in the cult is like gonna help them achieve their higher being, and stuff.
No, like again, that's why you got to subscribe to the pod, right? Because if you
Yeah.
listen to how creators make money, you're just better than everyone else. If we're being
Yeah, you are
honest here.
better. If you keep listening every episode, in no time, your net worth will be one figure larger. I promise you.
All right, I think that's the pod. That's a great ending to the pod.
Tony's in the chat.
All right, see you
Like and
guys. Peace.
subscribe. Bye.